Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto met Yugito during his training with Jiraiya? New Love and Power Awaken, Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start a fanfic. You might think he's a dropout and wouldn't improve that much Kiba, but remember what he did to you. Remember what he did to me. Neji continued. Kiba remembered alright, that's why he wanted to fight him again. Naruto beat him, but only by laying a stink bomb right in his face. He was lucky in his match against me, Kiba thought. But, his match against Neji luck did not contribute to the fight. He beat Neji without any luck at all. And as much as Kiba hate to admit it, Neji was stronger than him. Are you talking about Snake Man? Is that person who's after him, Snake Man? Ino asked Neji. At first yeah, but then I started to wonder. We already knows that he'll be rescuing Sasuke sooner or later. And besides, Orochimaru is just one person. Even though he is a Sennin he won't be able to take on that much people at the same time if he decides to attack Naruto. He would eventually run out of chakra, Neji said. No, I believe he's hiding something else. That's why I also mentioned they, instead of just a person. I do not believe that Naruto wouldn't hide this if it was just one person. It must be a group of highly trained shinobis that's after Naruto for him not to tell us what's happening. So then, why is he so special that these highly skilled ninjas want him so bad? Does he lay a magical egg that gives you a wish or something? Kiba asked, putting emphasis on highly skilled ninjas. That's something I don't know, Neji said. Both Sakura and Shikamaru tensed at this. They knew why. The group wasn't after Naruto, they were after what was in Naruto. Do you have something to say, Sakura? Shino said, more of a comment than a question. No, I don't. Sorry. I got to back Tsunade-sama's office and file her papers, Sakura commented and took off. What? Sakura, wait, come back here, forehead girl, Ino screamed. But, Sakura just ignored her and started to run to the Hokage tower. After Shikamaru left, Naruto hurried to the Hokage's office. As he was hopping on the rooftops of the buildings, he was thinking to himself. Naruto felt bad for not telling his friends about what was happening, but he was right. If he told them who was after him, they would be in big trouble also. He didn't want them to lose their life because of trying to protect him. He just wanted everything to be frozen in time, but he knew that this couldn't happen. He didn't mind them knowing that he was going to retrieve Sasuke from Snake Man. But, he didn't want them to know about Akatsuki. Sooner or later Akatsuki would be coming for him. He had two choices, either wait for them to attack in a group or attack them one by one. He liked his chances with the latter. He knew Akatsuki were probably going to strike soon. Last time Jiraiya heard, Akatsuki only needed 3 bijus. He knew Gaara was still alive, but didn't know where the other biju was located. Naruto did not want his friends to worry about his problem. When he got closer to Hokage Tower, he couldn't wait to see Tsunade. To him, Tsunade was like a mother that Naruto never had. Unlike Jiraiya, she tried to discipline him and watch over him. Though sometimes, she tries to protect him too much, Naruto thought. He knew that she was just worried for him though and that she was just using her best judgments. He remembered the time when Jiraiya told him about her taking a sword right to her chest just to save him from Snake Man. There were a few people who would do something like that for Naruto. And for this he would gladly put his life on the line for her no matter what. As Naruto opened Tsunade's door he saw her quickly tuck away a shot of sake. EHHMMHMM, knock before you come in Naruto, she said to Naruto. She was really glad to see him. She assessed him a little, well, he's not the loudmouth that he used to be or the prankster. He really has grown up. He looks so serious right now. Hey, Ba-chan, Naruto said in a loud voice. I guess I was wrong about the loudmouth part, Tsunade thought. He looked to Tsunade's right where Shizune was standing. Hi, Shizune-chan. Hello, Naruto, she responded with a smile. So was there anything particular that you wanted? Naruto asked Tsunade. No, is there something wrong with just wanting to see the brat that I miss? Tsunade said to Naruto. Well, of course not. I just thought that it was something more important, cause you did make it kind of formal. I was going to come up her anyways right after lunch, Naruto said with a grin to Tsunade. Jiraiya already told me mainly everything, so all I wanted to say was welcome home, Tsunade said to Naruto. He smiled and said, well, it's good to be home. So, did you meet anyone interesting? Tsunade said with an evil grin. Stupid Jiraiya, did he make up some story about me and Yugito? I didn't even do anything anyways, so why does she have an evil grin like that, Naruto thought. Don't know what you're talking about, Ba-chan, Naruto said in an emotionless tone. I believe you, Naruto, Tsunade replied in a sarcastic voice, still holding her grin. This made Naruto fume. I said I don't know what you're talking about, Naruto said louder with anger in his voice. It was fun for Tsunade to tease Naruto, but she could see that this wasn't a subject to tease Naruto on, so she decided to let him go. Okay, all I wanted to do was see you. You're free to go now since I still don't know where to put you yet, she said to Naruto. Naruto walked to the door mumbling, stupid arrow senin. As he reached the door he remembered something that he was going to ask Tsunade. He stopped and turned around. Ba-chan, when am I going to go and rescue Sasuke? It's already been 3 years already and he doesn't have much time left. Snake Man's going to take over his body soon, so I want to try and rescue him as fast as possible. Probably in 2 months or so. We haven't found the base of the hidden village of Sound yet, but we're really close. By 2 months we should find it, Tsunade responded. With that Naruto left and closed the door. Why did you lie to him, Tsunade-sama? We've already found the hidden village of Sound, Shizune said to her sensei. Yes, that's the truth, but I can tell him that. It's for his own safety. If I told him that we've already found the hidden village of Sound, he would bug me to no end until he got an answer out of me. I also don't want him going out right now with Akatsuki on the loose. Jiraiya said that the last time he updated his connections was a month ago, so we don't really know their location right now. I don't want him going out without knowing where the members of Akatsuki are located. If they're some distance away then I'll let him go, she responded to her student. But, what if Orochimaru already switched to Sasuke's body by then? Shizune asked. Well, according to Jiraiya he probably won't switch for another 6 months. He could switch right now, but he wants Sasuke to be a more permanent vessel. For that to happen Sasuke has to fall under the complete control of the curse seal. If no one seals it, it nearly takes 4 years or so to completely control someone when the curse seal is given to them. Orochimaru probably instantly took off Kakashi's seal when Sasuke got there. Another thing is that if the person keeps using it repeatedly then the time that it takes to control someone will shorten, but according to Jiraiya's information Sasuke hasn't been using the curse seal much during his training with Orochimaru, Tsunade responded. Not knowing Sasuke much, Tsunade didn't know why Naruto even wanted to bring him back. To her, all she saw was a person who betrayed the village and their friend in order to gain more power. She remembered how Naruto had almost died to bring her back just so she could heal him, and what did he do to repay him? Sasuke gave a Chidori to Naruto straight to the chest. This thought made Tsunade angry. She knew that the Sharingan would be deadly under Orochimaru, but that still didn't it easier to control her anger. The Leaf Ninjas were supposed to support each other, not try and kill each other. The council wanted him back at all cost, of course. It wasn't that they cared for Sasuke, they just wanted the Sharingan back in Konoha. After about 5 minutes Tsunade heard a knock on her door. Come in, Tsunade said in a slightly louder than she would. It was her student Sakura. So, what's on your mind, Sakura? Not knowing how to ask without giving away that she secretly looked at Naruto profile, she said, I was just wondering, who's after Naruto? Tsunade raised her eyebrows and said in her usual voice, what do you mean, Sakura? Please don't lie, Tsunade-sensei. I know something is up, please just tell me. We were all talking about Naruto and Neji mentioned something that I couldn't stop thinking about. As I thought about it more, I could see that Neji was right, Sakura pleaded. I see someone has been snooping around the records without my permission, Tsunade said in a slightly angry voice, laying a big pile of paper to the right of her harder than usual. I'm sorry, I was just worried about my teammate, Sakura said apologetically. You will be punished for looking through the files without my permission, she said in a commanding tone. But, I will tell you since you're his teammate and will probably try to look through all the records anyways if I don't. Okay, you already know what these people are after, right? Tsunade asked. Sakura nodded. Well, there are 9 Class S missing nins that call themselves Akatsuki. Basically, they are after Naruto for the Kyuubi inside of him. When she heard that, Sakura almost fainted. She lost all the feelings in her legs. 9 Class S missing nins after Naruto, she thought. We don't really know what they will do if they manage to get the Kyuubi. Also, they aren't just after the Kyuubi, they are also after the other Bijus. So far they got 6 Bijus already, so it's only a matter of time before they come after Naruto, Tsunade said. 6 Bijus, that only leaves 3 more, Sakura thought. How would he defend himself? He's going to die, Sakura said in a very worried voice, almost to the point of crying. Ah, don't worry about him so much, he can take care of himself, Tsunade said, trying to reassure her. Besides, we're here to protect him also. But, what if he does something stupid like go and try to attack them? Sakura asked. Who'll be stupid enough to do that? Tsunade said. As she said this, she remembered who she was talking about. It was Naruto. She started to quickly think now. Put yourself in Naruto's position, Tsunade, and what would you be thinking? Tsunade put herself in Naruto's position and tried to think like him. First off, I'll be scared, that's for sure. Second, I wouldn't tell anyone and handle this myself because I wouldn't want my friends to get killed. Third, because I don't want to live in fear my whole life. I either have 2 options: wait for them to come and get me, or, goddamn, Sakura was right, he was going to try and take them out. This thought made Tsunade cringe. He was going to try and take out Akatsuki by himself. Don't worry, Sakura, I'll have Anbu teams watching his moves so that he won't try to attack them, Tsunade quickly said. Beside, I told you already, he's real strong, Tsunade said. How strong is he? Sakura asked her sensei. Well, he's the strongest genin I know, Tsunade replied, laughing hard at her own joke. Sakura wasn't in the joking mood and Tsunade saw that right away. Gosh, can't you take a joke, Sakura? Okay, from what I've heard from Jiraiya, he said that Naruto was about Kakashi's level right now. So, Neji was right, he's about an elite Junin, Sakura thought. But, that's still not enough to beat 9 Class S criminals. For all we know, these Akatsuki members could be as strong as you, Jiraiya-sama, and Snake Man. Actually, we are pretty sure that most of them are, Tsunade responded. When Tsunade said that, Sakura gasped. He's only as strong as Kakashi-sensei, he won't be able to take them. Well, you haven't been keeping up with your old sensei lately, have you? Tsunade asked. Not really, I talk with him all the time, but I really don't know what he's been doing lately, Sakura said. What I meant was that Naruto is probably on par with the current Kakashi and not the Kakashi that you knew, Tsunade said to Sakura. Is there that much of a difference between the current Kakashi-sensei and the Kakashi-sensei that I knew? Sakura asked Tsunade. Well, the old Kakashi wouldn't even be able to do anything to me at all, even if we fought 100 times. If we fought seriously, the new Kakashi would probably get the best of me about 1 in every 3 or 4 tries depending on the circumstances, Tsunade said to her student. How can Kakashi improve that much? Sakura thought. I'm sorry Tsunade-sensei, but I don't see how Kakashi could improve that much in such a short time. I mean, I could see Naruto improving a lot, but that's because he's still young. Kakashi, on the other hand, is an adult. Wouldn't he be near his potential already a long time ago? Sakura asked. Yes, that would be true of most people, but not in Kakashi's case. Let me ask you a question, Sakura. Do you know your previous sensei's past? Tsunade asked her student. Now that I think about it, I know nothing of Kakashi-sensei's past, Sakura thought. No, I don't, she replied. Well, I'll give you a little history lesson on your old sensei. To put it simply, Kakashi is a genius ninja. If you thought that Sasuke was a genius, which I agree he is, he's nothing compared to Kakashi. Kakashi became a Chunin at age 6 and a Junin at age 13, Tsunade told her student. At that, Sakura's jaw dropped. Was Kakashi-sensei born with a kunai in his hand or something? Sakura thought. Tsunade continued with her explanation. Even though it was during war times, being a Chunin at age 6 was still unheard of and incredible. For example, Guy didn't become a Chunin until age 11, while Asuma didn't become a Chunin until age 12. Do you his nickname in the ninja world? Tsunade asked, wondering if Sakura knew. I remember our first Class C mission when we fought with one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist and he called Kakashi-sensei, Copy Ninja. He also stated how Kakashi had over 1,000 techniques, Sakura answered her sensei. About how many techniques have you seen from him? Tsunade asked her. Only a few, about 4 or 5, Sakura answered. Since he has so many techniques, why do you think he has only shown about 4 or 5? Tsunade asked her student. She liked to make Sakura think, instead of just telling her how it was. Well, I figured that even though he copied over 1,000 techniques, that most of them were useless. I'm also guessing that he doesn't want to show off, Sakura answered Tsunade's question. Yes, you're right about copying useless jutsus, but there are some valuable ones that he has copied. He's done many S-ranked missions and I'm pretty sure that he has copied some of those jutsus. I'll tell you why he has only shown a few techniques to you so far. Even though he has copied many techniques, the reason why he can't use them in battle is because he has a very low chakra level. If he used one of his the A-rank or S-rank jutsus that he has copied, it would drain him too much and he would be defenseless if it didn't work. For him, using a big jutsu or a devastating jutsu is a double-edged sword. Even though he's an elite Junin, his chakra level is about a lower Chunin only. I understand that his Sharingan does take some chakra out of him, but it shouldn't take that much even if he isn't an Uchiha. Because Kakashi was such a genius, he would beat his enemies with brains and as few jutsus as possible. Even though that's good because he's improving his intelligence by putting himself in a disadvantage, it could cause a big problem when facing a powerful enemy. Basically, he was very lazy and never trained. He still had the same chakra capacity as he had when he was a 6-year-old boy. Kakashi doesn't even need to learn any new jutsu. Just by increasing his chakra capacity he could use some of the A-rank and S-rank jutsus that he copied without worrying that much about going over his limit. Without anyone to tutor, he's been training hard non-stop for 3 years now, Tsunade explained to Sakura. Sakura understood. Since Kakashi had so many jutsus up his sleeve, all he had to do was increase his chakra reserves and he could use them without worrying at all about depleting all of his reserves. So, why has he been training for 3 years? Sakura asked. Well, there was this one time when he went up against one of the Akatsuki members and was beat pretty badly. I think that's what made him start training. He probably felt that he would have stood a better chance if he could have just used some of his jutsus that he copied without worrying about using all of his chakra. But, I think that main reason is because he knew that Akatsuki were after Naruto. He wanted to do all that he could to protect him when that time came, Tsunade said to Sakura. Things were looking better, Sakura thought, but not by much. When Naruto left Tsunade's office, he decided that he would go pay Iruka a visit. As he reached the door, he slowly opened it to see if there was any students around. Luckily there wasn't, it was just Iruka. Iruka was still looking down at his papers and said, "Come in," not knowing who was at the door. "Is that what you say to your favorite student?" Naruto said in a loud happy voice. Iruka tensed up at this and quickly got up to go hug Naruto. "Is that really you, Naruto? I've missed you so much." "Of course it's me, Iruka-sensei. Who else can it be?" Naruto replied while being hugged. Iruka released Naruto and asked, "So, what have you been doing?" "Just been training and stuff like that so that I'll be stronger," Naruto said. "What are your plans today? If you're not doing anything, we can go and catch something at Ichiraku," Iruka said to Naruto. "I already ate, but I didn't get to finish my meal when I was eating with Ino and them," Naruto thought. "Alright, let's go." With that, he and Iruka took off to Ichiraku. When they got there, it was no surprise that Naruto ordered 7 bowls of ramen. "Iruka-sensei, what have you been up to?" Naruto asked Iruka. "Well, I'm still doing the same thing, except now that I'm engaged," he answered with a smile. "To who?" Naruto asked excitedly. "Anko," Iruka replied. Naruto made an unbelievable face when he heard this. They're so different, Naruto thought. He's so nice and protect, while that Chunin examiner had a hot head. Iruka smiled and said, "Once you get to know her, Naruto, I bet you'll like her." Naruto didn't believe he could ever like that woman, but decided that if Iruka was happy, then he'll be happy for him. They continued their small talk, avoiding the subject of Sasuke for the next hour. "Okay, Iruka-sensei, I got to go and visit Kakashi now, take care," Naruto told him. "Anytime, Naruto, don't be a stranger now," Iruka replied back. When he was walking towards Kakashi's house, he was thinking about the information he just received from Tsunade. It could take 2 months. He didn't want to wait that long because Snake Man could already have taken over Sasuke by then. Can't do anything now without knowing where the village is, he thought. He reached Kakashi's door and knocked on it. Kakashi opened the door and said with his happy laid-back voice, "Hey, Naruto, glad you're back. Come in." "Thanks," he replied to his former sensei. His former sensei didn't change much. He still had on the same clothes as before and still had the same laid-back face. Something was different though, but Naruto couldn't tell. Naruto went into Kakashi's house. This was the first time in his former sensei's house, and to his surprise, it was actually pretty small. Right when you walk in, there was a small living and a small kitchen to the left. Down the hallway were 2 doors. Probably his bedroom and bathroom, Naruto thought. There was hardly any furniture at all, only a single-person couch, a small television and a bookshelf with many books. That's what he's been spending his money on, Naruto thought as he looked at the bookshelf, which was full with books. Probably all the perverted stuff that Jiraiya writes, Naruto thought. "So, I guess you must be strong now, huh?" Kakashi said to Naruto. "Well, actually that's exactly what I'm here for, Kakashi-sensei. The truth is I want to fight you," Naruto said, scratching the back of his head and having a smile. Kakashi knew why Naruto wanted to fight him. He was the only one with the Sharingan and Naruto would have to fight Sasuke pretty soon. He wanted to see how he does against a Sharingan user. Kakashi didn't mind because the truth was he wanted to see how much Naruto has improved also. "Alright, let's go to Team 7's training ground," Kakashi said. They reached the old training ground where Team 7 took the bell test. They stood in the middle of the field surrounded by a huge river and some trees. "Kakashi-sensei, before we start, I got something to say. I don't this to be just a regular spar or training session, alright? I mean, I would like it if either one of us didn't die, but I don't want you to hold back until it's absolutely necessary. When I'm fighting Sasuke, he will come at me with everything he has, so I want you to also come at me with everything you have," Naruto told his former sensei. "I understand, Naruto. Same for you too," Kakashi said, and with that he lifted his forehead protector to reveal his Sharingan. "Okay, begin." Naruto immediately threw a shuriken and did a few quick hand seals and said, Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone. The shuriken turned into about 30 shurikens that went straight for Kakashi. With a few hand seals Kakashi said, Doden Kage no Jutsu, Earth Wall, and put his hands on the ground. A huge wall of ground came up just in front of Kakashi blocking the shurikens. As the wall was going up, Naruto made a clone and moved quickly to the nearby tree to hide. His clone was already rushing at Kakashi. It went around the huge wall of dirt and threw a right punch at Kakashi, which was blocked with Kakashi's left hand. The clone started his assault on Kakashi. Kakashi continued to block and dodge the clone's attack. This went on for about a minute or so, and Naruto's clone got impatient and stopped for a second and said, Come on Kakashi-sensei, fight back. Little did he know that's what Kakashi wanted him to do. Taking the moment of opportunity when the clone stopped attacking, Kakashi did a few quick hand seals and said, Raiko Kara Zenki no Jutsu, lightning from above. As he did this, the clouds changed from normal clouds to dark rain clouds. Rain started to pour down violently, and then a lightning bolt came straight down for Naruto's clone. The clone looked up and saw that it was going to hit him, but luckily he had this kind of training in the hidden village of clouds, so he quickly dodged it by jumping back. Kakashi started his attack now. He quickly raced up to the clone and threw a left straight punch, which the clone dodged. Kakashi then threw a left kick at the clone's side, which he jumped up to avoid the dodge. His taijutsu got better, Kakashi thought. Just then a lightning bolt was coming down on Naruto's clone. Sensing this, the clone grabbed Kakashi by his vest and put Kakashi over his head to take the bolt. The lightning bolt hit Kakashi dead on. Use your techniques after thinking carefully. Otherwise it can be used against you, said the clone while smiling. Kakashi just looked at Naruto and smiled. It took about a second and Kakashi puffed into thin air. Damn, when did he use a clone? The clone thought. Then it hit him. He used it the same time I did, when the wall jutsu came up. Where is he then? Just then something grabbed the clone's foot from below and pulled him into the ground. Doden Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu, Earth Element, suicidal beheading, said the real Kakashi. Look underneath. Kakashi said to the clone, not knowing it wasn't the real Naruto. I did. Kage Bunshin Harastu, Kage Bunshin explosion. With that the clone exploded and Kakashi was thrown into the air. The real Naruto jumped out of his hiding place, did a few quick handseal and yelled, Suiryuden no Jutsu, Water Dragon Blast. A huge dragon came out of the river and straight at Kakashi. Kakashi still haven't recovered from the Kage Bunshin explosion and took the Water Dragon Blast straight on. This attack knocked Kakashi to the floor. Naruto quickly started to run at Kakashi, realizing he had the advantage. Knowing that Naruto was coming, Kakashi quickly got up, but to his surprise he didn't see where Naruto was. He felt an arm around his neck and lost his breath as Naruto tightened his arm and gave Kakashi a to choke him from behind. Kakashi was losing his oxygen supply and couldn't breathe. Shit, I'm in deep trouble, I gotta hurry or I won't last long. He remembered that he landed near a tree when he was knocked down by the dragon blast. Knowing that this was his only chance, he gathered his chakra to his feet and jumped backwards, his hardest with Naruto behind him. Naruto's back hit the tree very hard. He tried not to loosen his grip on Kakashi, but for a second his grip loosened. Fortunately for Kakashi, this was enough time to give Naruto an elbow to the stomach. This made Naruto lose his grip entirely and he bent down holding his stomach. As Naruto was still holding his stomach, Kakashi gave him a hard back hand which sent Naruto 6 feet to the side. Kakashi was catching his breath while Naruto was slowly getting up. When Naruto got up, Kakashi could see that there was blood dripping from the side of Naruto's mouth. Nice move there, Kakashi-sensei. I thought I had you, Naruto said to Kakashi while having a huge grin. Naruto couldn't see, but he could tell that Kakashi was smiling under his mask. Okay. Round 2, Naruto said. He quickly rushed at Kakashi and threw a left punch straight at Kakashi's face, but it was blocked. Naruto's next attack was a kick to Kakashi's stomach, which was blocked also. He threw another left punch that Kakashi barely dodged. Sensing that he had an advantage, he quickly threw a right punch to Kakashi's stomach, which connected. As Kakashi was dropping from the punch, he felt Naruto's right knee connecting to his face, which sent him flying upwards. He's too fast. Even if I can see his movements, my body can't keep up with his. While he was thinking this, he felt a hand on his right ankle. Naruto pulled Kakashi straight down from his mid-air flight by his ankles and slammed him hard to the ground. While on the ground, Kakashi did a leg sweep that caused Naruto to fall to the ground also. They both got up at the same time. When they got up, both of them were waiting for the other to attack. His taijutsu is too good, Kakashi thought. Damn, I knew that Jiraiya was going to teach him some strong ninjutsu, but I didn't expect his taijutsu to increase so much. If I don't think of something, I'm screwed, Kakashi thought himself. Damn, he's different from before. I would expect him to be more tired already taking so many hits. He doesn't even seem that tired yet, Naruto thought. As Naruto was thinking this, he saw the dots on Kakashi's left eye swirling. Naruto immediately felt his head spinning. He also couldn't see straight. Shit, I'm under a genjutsu, Naruto thought. When he looked up at Kakashi, he saw 3 Kakashi standing there waiting for him to attack. He focused his chakra and tried to dispel the genjutsu. Damn, it's harder to control my chakra also. Oh well, guess I'll have to just attack him, Naruto thought. The moment Naruto ran at Kakashi, he knew he made a wrong move. It felt like the ground underneath him was moving. Kakashi, knowing that his move would not last long, started his attack on Naruto. He quickly pulled out his kunai and tried to stab Naruto on the chest. To his surprise, Naruto pulled out his own kunai with his left hand and blocked it. Naruto couldn't stop Kakashi's right roundhouse to his face though. This sent Naruto flying 7 feet, where he landed on the ground hard. Kakashi immediately jumped and stomped on Naruto with all of his weight. This made Naruto cough up blood. He grabbed Naruto by the shirt with his left hand and proceeded to lift him up. He tried to stab Naruto's chest with his kunai in his right hand, but Naruto blocked it again with his own kunai. He threw Naruto to the ground 5 feet away from him. Damn, I feel like I have to throw up, Naruto thought. He was slow to get up. When he got up, he could see that Kakashi was coming at him again. Kakashi took a swipe at Naruto's left arm with his kunai, which connected. Kakashi then tried to stab Naruto's right thigh. Naruto tried to move out of the way, but was too slow and the kunai struck deeply into Naruto's leg. Kakashi threw a left punch to Naruto's face, which connected, but didn't make Naruto fall. It managed to make him off balance. Sensing his advantage, Kakashi tried to stab Naruto in the stomach, but Naruto blocked the attack with his kunai. Kakashi continued his assault on Naruto. But something was wrong. What's the hell is wrong? Kakashi thought. He's blocking all the attack to his vital organs. Then it hit Kakashi. Since Naruto knew that he couldn't dispel the genjutsu, he was only focusing his concentration when Kakashi was aiming at his vital organs. He was probably feeling the effects weaken also. He's trying to stall for time until he can dispel it, Kakashi thought. As Kakashi thought this, he heard Naruto said, "Kai. Release." Naruto was released from the genjutsu and he was panting. Damn, what the hell was that? I hope that I'll never feel like that again, Naruto said in a weak voice. He straightened himself up, feeling all the pain in his body. I can't look at his eyes and get trapped in that genjutsu again, Naruto thought to himself. I'm lucky that I've been training so much, I still have some strength left in me. Naruto did some hand seals and said, Kokuangyu no Jutsu, absolute darkness. The place went completely dark. I see, Naruto knows that I can fight in complete darkness, but he is using the dark so that he could avoid my Sharingan and so that my Sharingan would lose its predicting ability, Kakashi thought to himself. Focus Naruto. I haven't made him bleed yet so I can't use my sense of smell, but focus and you will find him by sensing his chakra, Naruto thought to himself. There. Naruto quickly went left and did a jumping roundhouse kick which connected with Kakashi's shoulder. He landed and threw an uppercut right under Kakashi's chin. Naruto tried to kick Kakashi's face with his left leg, but Kakashi dodged it and gave Naruto a swift kick to the back of his knees. Kakashi hopped back a few times and thought to himself, what do I do? Even though he's more damaged, he has the advantage over me right now. Got it. He bit his thumb and said, summoning no jutsu. With that he slammed his hands to the ground and out came 3 dogs. The dogs all started to rush Naruto at once. One dog, a big yellow German shepherd, aimed his bite at Naruto's legs, which Naruto managed to dodge by doing a front flip. Just as he is about to land another dog, this time a big black bulldog aimed his bite at Naruto's chest, but Naruto put his right hand up and the dog bit his forearm instead. The third dog, a gray pit bull, jumped straight for Naruto's neck while the bulldog was still on Naruto's arm. Naruto managed to kick the pit bull which let out a little yelp when it was kicked. Stupid dog, let go of my forearm, Naruto thought. Just then he felt Kakashi coming in with a punch aimed at his stomach. Naruto managed to move the dog right in the way of Kakashi's punch which caused the dog to lose its grip. Naruto knew that he wasn't good at fighting against animals. Ever since he started learning taijutsu he has lost some of his natural fighting instinct. His analyzation of human taijutsu has grown, but while it grew, it was slowly replacing his natural fighting instinct skills. Of course Naruto wouldn't want to change that, but in this situation it didn't help him. There was nothing left to do. Release, Naruto said and the darkness disappeared leaving him in the open rainy field again. Naruto saw that he was surrounded by 3 dogs and Kakashi. Naruto wiped the blood by his mouth with his right thumb, slammed his hands into the ground and said, summoning no jutsu. A huge frog popped into existence. The frog was squatting and it was as tall as Naruto's waist. If it stood up it would have been slightly taller than Naruto. The frog was orange with purple lips and purple marks right above its eyebrows. The frog also wore a blue jacket that didn't have sleeves and that was opened in the front. On the frog's back there was 2 long swords. One sword was completely black while the other sword was completely white. The reason why Naruto released his absolute darkness jutsu was because he knew that a frog's sense of smell wasn't good. Compared to a dog, it was completely useless. He also knew that a frog's primary sense was sight and if he were to summon a frog in complete darkness, it would just be suicide. Yo, you need help Naruto? Gamakichi asked Naruto. Yeah, you take care of the animals like always alright. You're also an animal so it's easier for you to fight them. I'll take care of Kakashi-sensei. Use everything you have because even though he's my sensei we're taking this seriously, Naruto told Gamakichi. Gotcha. Gamakichi replied to Naruto. He pulled out his 2 swords. He immediately jumped at Pit Bull and used the sword in his right hand to do a downward attack. The dog did a little hop to the left to avoid the attack. Immediately Gamakichi's used the sword in his left hand to make a horizontal at the Pit Bull. The Pit Bull made a pop and disappeared. There were only 2 dogs left. My, your companion there is good, Kakashi was talking about Gamakichi. Naruto smiled and said, yeah, we've been training together. I would call him sometimes and we would train. Though I don't want him getting used to fighting with humans because as you can see I need him to help me when fighting with animals. The 2 dogs surrounded Gamakichi. The German Shepherd was on his right while the Bulldog was on his left. After a few seconds the German Shepherd jumped and aimed his attack at Gamakichi's face. Gamakichi managed to duck low enough that the dog went over his head. As the German Shepherd was going over his head he stabbed the dog's belly with the sword in his right hand. There was a pop, and the German Shepherd disappeared. Kakashi, knowing that his other dog wouldn't be able to harm Gamakichi made some hand seals, put his hands onto the ground and said, "Unsummon." With that, the bulldog disappeared. Gamakichi smiled and asked Naruto, "Yo, you want my help with your sensei also?" Naruto replied, "It's alright Gamakichi, I think I'll take it from here and thanks for your help." "Alright, whatever, call me if you need me again," Gamakichi said. With that, he also made a pop and disappeared. "Was that a wise move, Naruto?" Kakashi asked him in his lazy tone. "Yes, I don't want any harm done to Gamakichi. Even though summons can't die, they can get badly injured. I wouldn't be able to face myself if he was seriously injured. That's why I only call him whenever I'm fighting animals," Naruto told Kakashi. Kakashi could see that Naruto was near his limit. Kakashi was also near his limit. This fight is going to end pretty soon, Kakashi thought. Naruto was pulling something out of his right pocket. It was a forehead protector with the markings of the hidden village of the cloud. He wrapped the forehead protector over his eyes. Naruto knew this was going to be bad, but he didn't have any choice. If Kakashi put him under that genjutsu again, it would be all over. Kakashi smiled and thought to himself, "Wise choice, but can you take me like that, Naruto?" He did a few handseal and said, "Dageki K's no jutsu, blowing wind." As Kakashi said that, Naruto felt the force of the wind blowing on his face. Naruto knew this was going to be hard. Unlike last time when he couldn't see, Kakashi could see while he couldn't. Even if he used his ears to locate where Kakashi was going, light traveled much faster than sound. These few milliseconds would cost him. What's worse, Kakashi used that wind jutsu so that Naruto couldn't locate him by scent. He remembered Kakashi using blood when he summoned his dog and hoped that Kakashi forgot. The jutsu also made it a lot harder to hear when Kakashi was going to attack him. He had to try to locate him solely based on Kakashi's chakra, which he was hiding. To make matters even worse, Kakashi can use the Sharingan's predictability technique to predict where Naruto was going to attack. Kakashi immediately went to Naruto's left side and tried to kick Naruto on his stomach. Naruto sensed this and blocked Kakashi's kick with both arms and tried to sweep Kakashi's leg. Kakashi jumped over the sweep and did an axe kick that was aimed at Naruto's shoulder. Naruto managed to stop the attack by catching it with both of his hands. While grabbing Kakashi's leg, he swung Kakashi and threw him 10 feet back. Kakashi did a flip and managed to land on his feet. Even though he's blind, his taijutsu is still on par with mine. This can take forever if nothing happens, Kakashi thought to himself. "Naruto, take off your blindfold. I can see that this will take forever before either of us loses. We're both almost out of chakra right now, what do you say we end this with the next attack?" Kakashi asked his former student. If it was somebody else that told Naruto to take off his blindfold, he wouldn't have done it, but he knew Kakashi would never do anything cheap. So Naruto took off his blindfold, smiled and said, "Alright, let's do it then." Chakra started to gather in Kakashi's left hand, and in a moment there was a loud noises like 1,000 birds. There was lightning radiating from the chakra. The chakra was also in a shape of a blade. Naruto started to gather chakra in his right hand, and in a moment there was a beautiful round ball made entirely of chakra. If one was to look at the ball, they could see chakra swirling perfectly within the ball. They both ran at each other at full speed, with Kakashi yelling, "Chidori," while Naruto yelling, "Rasengan." There was a huge white light emitting when the two jutsus collided. Kakashi was pouring more and more of his chakra into his jutsu while Naruto was also doing the same thing. After 10 seconds there was a bang so loud that people in the Hokage Tower could hear it. Both Naruto and Kakashi were thrown 50 feet back by the explosion. Both of them were on the ground unconscious after the attack. Jutsu's descriptions. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shuriken Shadow Clone A rank, a shuriken is thrown and is replicated by the user. These are real shurikens that can damage a person. This jutsu is in the manga. Sarutobi used it against Orochimaru. Doden Kabe no Jutsu. Earth Wall D rank, a weak wall that pops out of the ground when the jutsu is used. A hard hit can usually go through it. It's mainly used to block projectiles when a person can't dodge the thrown object in time. Raiko Kara Zenki no Jutsu. Lightning from above, C rank, a mini lightning storm that automatically targets the enemy and sends bolts of lightning at random times. It only send a few lightning bolts depending on how much chakra was used and the storm disappears after the bolts are used up. Doden Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu. Earth Element Suicidal Beheading, D rank, this jutsu puts the user underground to hide themselves. This jutsu is in the manga. Kakashi used it against Sasuke during the Genin test. Kage Bunshin Harastu. Shadow Clone Explosion, A rank, this jutsu makes the shadow clone explode. This jutsu is in the manga, where Itachi used it in his fight against the Kakashi and the team. I don't know what it's called though. Suiryuden no Jutsu. Water Dragon Blast, B rank, a huge water dragon pops out of the water and attacks the foe. This jutsu is in the manga. Zabuza and Kakashi used it. Sharingan A rank, the jutsu that Kakashi cast on Naruto with his Sharingan causes the victim to think slower, react slower, make it harder to focus their chakra, causes poor judgment, and makes it harder for them to walk correctly. They say that it's comparable to taking 20 shots of Bacardi 151. Unfortunately for Naruto, he's not a drunken master like Lee. The only disadvantage is that it lasts for about 15 minutes and it slowly starts to lose its effect after 5 minutes. Kokuangyu no Jutsu. Bringer of Absolute Darkness, A rank, this genjutsu causes total darkness. The only genjutsu that Naruto learned knowing that one day he would probably use it against Sasuke. It took him nearly 2 years to learn it. This jutsu is in the manga. Summoning Technique, B rank, this just summons an animal that the user signed a blood contract with. Dageki Kei's no Jutsu. Blowing Wind, D rank, this jutsu causes the wind to blow violently around 70 miles per hour. It doesn't do much, but in this case Kakashi is trying to use the wind to mask his scent and also to disrupt the noises so that it'll be harder to detect him. Chidori A rank, the person using this jutsu gathers chakra in their hand and forms it into a lightning blade. It's one of Kakashi's favorite attack. Rasengan A rank, a small ball made entire of concentrated chakra. If you look at it you can see the chakra spinning inside the ball. Bang! The loud noise reached the Hokage tower where Tsunade was busy looking over her papers. Sakura was also there filing Tsunade's papers for her while Shizune was behind Tsunade looking at each document as Tsunade signed her name. All three looked out her window to see where the sound came from. It was over in the training area and they could also see a huge white light that was starting to disappear in that area. Shizune, Sakura, go over there and see what happened, Tsunade told her assistant and her student. That noise did not make Tsunade feel good. Sakura and Shizune immediately said, yes, and left to the area where the explosion took place. When they got there they saw a huge crater about 20 feet wide and an unconscious Naruto that was 50 feet away from the crater and also an unconscious Kakashi that was also 50 feet away from the crater, but at the opposite side. Sakura go and grab Naruto while I'll get Kakashi. Take him immediately to the hospital, Shizune told Sakura. Sakura went and picked up Naruto while Shizune went to pick up Kakashi. They both took them to the hospital. What? Was the words that came out of Tsunade's mouth when Shizune and Sakura told her what happened. She immediately went to the hospital and into the room where Kakashi and Naruto were staying. They were both unconscious with tubes sticking in their mouths. They'll be okay Tsunade-sama, said a medical nurse when Tsunade entered the room. They're just unconscious, that's all, no major injuries except for a few scratches, bruises, and overexertion of chakra. A few scratches was not what Tsunade saw when she looked at Naruto. He was cut and stabbed in so many different places, some large and some small, but Tsunade sighed. At least he wasn't hit in any vital spots, she thought to herself. She took a look at Kakashi. He doesn't look as bad as Naruto, she thought. She immediately changed her opinion when she took a closer inspection. Kakashi had bruises all over himself, from his stomach to his arms. A few days passed and Naruto was waking up along with Kakashi. Sakura was already in the room sitting on a chair when they woke up. When Naruto looked at her face, he could tell that she was not happy. Not knowing what to say or why she was mad, he said, did I do something wrong? Why didn't you tell me, Naruto? Sakura said in a hurt tone. Naruto, not knowing what she was talking about, said, "Oh, sorry, me and Kakashi were just sparring, kind of went overboard, but I don't care about what you guys were doing," Sakura interrupted Naruto. Why didn't you tell me that there were 9 Class S ninjas after? Kakashi-sensei, don't think that you're off the hook, I know that you knew, so why didn't you tell me? I thought we were a team, that's not what you do to teammates. She said in a very hurt voice. Naruto could see that she was almost crying. Water was in her eyes, the only thing left was for a tear to drop. Sakura, I'm sorry, but it wasn't my place to tell you. Also, Tsunade-sama forbid it, Kakashi said. Sakura gave Kakashi a very angry look. I should just shut up, yeah, that's what I'll do, Kakashi thought. She focused her attention back on Naruto when she heard his voice. I'm sorry, I truly am, but this is my problem, Sakura, Naruto said to her in a defeated voice. Why do you do that, Naruto? Why do you always help people, but when it comes to you, you try to hold everything on your shoulders? You have friends that are willing to give their life just to help you, but they can't help if they don't know anything, Sakura said in a very sad voice. That's the problem, they're willing to give their lives to help me. I don't want them to die because of me, Naruto answered her. That's the stupidest reason I have ever heard. You know what? If you don't tell them, then I will, Sakura said in a very loud voice, putting a lot of emphasis on stupidest. No, you won't, Sakura, Naruto said loudly, quite angry himself now. Yes, I will, Sakura replied back in a commanding tone. No, you won't, Naruto repeated, raising his voice now. Yes, I will, and you won't be able to stop me, Sakura said. As she said that, she got up and started to leave the room. You know, I shouldn't even be telling guys this for leaving me in the dark, but since you're awake now, I suggest you two leave and hide for a moment before. Bam the door flew open with such a serious force that it made Naruto and Kakashi's hair lift. At the door stood Tsunade, her face as angry as ever. Before what, Sakura? Tsunade said to her student. Hey, oh nothing, Tsunade-sama, I should get going now, Sakura said in a very small voice. With that, she ran past her sensei without looking at her, knowing that her full rage was going to pop its ugly head. Oh man, we're in deep shit now, was all that Kakashi and Naruto could think of. What the hell were you two doing? Tsunade said in a very loud voice. We were sparring, Ba-chan, don't worry about us, Naruto said in his regular voice. Sparring and trying to kill each other are not the same thing. I can't have two of my strongest ninjas trying to kill each other, Tsunade told Naruto. If this was a different situation, Naruto would have been very happy knowing that Tsunade just called him one of her strongest ninjas. Don't worry, we weren't trying to kill each other, Naruto said, trying to calm her. So, using Chidori and Rasengan is considered not trying to kill each other? Tsunade asked, not expecting an answer. At least her voice was calming down now, Naruto thought. Like I said, don't worry, we both agreed to it. Tsunade gave a piercing look at Kakashi. Naruto, shut up before we both get into more trouble. Just let her yell at us, please, Kakashi thought. It doesn't matter if you both agreed on it or not, Tsunade replied to Naruto. She then focused her attention on Kakashi. So, Kakashi, is that right? I kind of assumed it from the start already, but is what Naruto said right? I want to hear it out of your mouth. Did you agree to have this type of spar with Naruto? Tsunade questioned Kakashi in her normal voice, but he could sense her anger behind them. Yes, Naruto is right, Tsunade-sama. He came to my house and asked for a spar. Before we started, we both agreed not to hold back, even if it meant one of us might die. Of course, we tried not to kill each other, but we didn't hold back anything in our arsenal, Kakashi answered Tsunade in his lazy tone. I would have expected this out of someone like Naruto, but of all the people I would not have expected it from you, Tsunade told him. To tell you the truth, Tsunade-sama, I really did want to test Naruto to my fullest also. Of course I wouldn't have ever suggested it to Naruto, but when he came up to ask me to spar, I couldn't refuse. I was itching to find out how strong he has become and to test my abilities. He wanted to see how much he improved, and he also wanted to see how he stood up against a Sharingan user. That's what we both wanted. Also right now, he's the only one that can fight me at an even level. I know that you won't fight me at your fullest potential. And even though Guy is a good rival, he mainly uses taijutsu, and I wanted to fight a ninja that was a ninjutsu powerhouse like me, Kakashi told Tsunade. I don't care what you both want. Don't ever do something like that again, Tsunade said to both Kakashi and Naruto. Well, anyways, Naruto, since you haven't been put on a team since you came back, you're going to do missions with Kakashi. Is that alright with you, Naruto? She asked him, already knowing the answer. Naruto smiled and said, yes, okay Ba-chan. Well, I'm off, Tsunade said. With that, she left the hospital room, leaving Kakashi and Naruto alone. Well, that didn't go as bad as I thought, Naruto said to Kakashi, looking at him. No, it didn't, Kakashi replied. Anyways, you've improved tremendously, Naruto. Your taijutsu is very good. Where did you learn it? Ero Sennin told me to train in the hidden village of Cloud with his friend for some time after I learned most of his ninjutsu. But, you've improved tremendously also. I wouldn't think you would have done so many jutsu and still be up fighting. If I remembered correctly, I don't really remember you using that much jutsus in any of your fights, Naruto said to Kakashi. Yay, I've been training for the last 3 years, Kakashi answered Naruto. Before thinking it through, Naruto asked, why have you been training for the last 3 years? Kakashi just smiled underneath his mask and Naruto said in a low voice, oh, thank you Kakashi-sensei. Don't worry about it. Let's go to Tsunade-sama's office and see if she has any missions for us, Kakashi said. With that, they both got out of bed and got dressed. About a month and a half went by after their incident. Kakashi was impressed how Naruto has developed. He knew Naruto was already an excellent ninja in fighting, but he didn't expect Naruto to be so analytical in his missions. During their missions, Kakashi would let Naruto lead sometimes instead of him. One time Naruto surprised the hell out of him when he came up with a strategy that was better than his for the situation. Naruto was at Ichiraku just finishing his ramen when he saw Shikamaru walking towards him. Hey, Naruto, Tsunade-sama wants you in her office, Shikamaru said to him. Shikamaru was one of the first person that talked to him after Sakura had told the whole Rookie 9 and Team Guy that 10 Class S nins were after Naruto. All of his friends were angry at him for not telling them and didn't speak with him for a week after she told them. She still didn't tell the group why 10 Class S nins were after Naruto because she thought that it was his right. You know what she wants? Naruto asked him. Nope. She didn't tell me, Shikamaru answered him. Naruto entered Tsunade's office and asked her, what is it, Ba-chan, another mission? Yes, it is, Naruto, the one that you've been waiting for, Tsunade told him. You mean? Naruto's eyes became a little larger when he heard what she told him. Yes, your next mission is to rescue Sasuke, Tsunade said. You found out where the hideout's at? Naruto asked in a relaxed tone. You can go when Jiraiya gets back. He'll be here in a month. He wanted to go with you also to face his old friend. As for the last question, we know where the hideout is located. I'll give you a mission briefing whenever Jiraiya gets here. I just wanted to tell you because I know it's been on your mind, Tsunade stated to Naruto. Thanks, Ba-chan, Naruto said in a happy voice. You may go now, there's not much missions today so you're free, Tsunade told him. Before Naruto started to leave he remembered his promise and asked Tsunade, hey, you already know how I was working for another hidden village right? Tsunade nodded her head for him to continue. I was wondering if my two teammates from the hidden village of Cloud could also come with me on this mission. I promised one of them that I would send a message whenever I go and rescue him. Tsunade started to think this over. She knew that they were low on ninjas in the village. Besides, this mission would probably be only a 4-group mission and it would be good if the team was comfortable with each other and knew how each other work. Sure. Just make sure that they're okay with it also, Tsunade told him. Naruto left the Hokage Tower and was going home. He needed to get his message to Yugito, so he decided that he would use one of the messenger eagles. Naruto went home first to write his letter. After he finished writing it he went to the tree where all the eagles were perched and climbed it. Take this letter to Yugito in the hidden village of Cloud, okay, he asked the eagle tying the letter to its feet. After Naruto finished attaching the letter to the eagle's feet, it stretched out its wing and started flying north. 2 weeks later, Naruto was still waiting outside for Yugito and Kato arrival. Naruto already received his reply about 3 days after he sent his letter. He knew that it took about 2 weeks to travel from the hidden village of Cloud to the hidden village of Leaf, but he was still anxiously waiting for his former teammates. It was already 7 at night and he decided that they wouldn't make it to Konoha that day. Naruto started to leave entrance when he saw 2 shadows that were about 1/2 mile from him. He quickly went to the shadow figures hoping that it was his former teammates. As he got closer he could see that it was them. While he was still running to them he yelled out, "Hey, Yugito, hey, Kato-sensei." He quickly reached them and said with a smile, "Hi, long time no see." "Hey, Naruto, how have you been?" said Kato in his regular voice while wearing a smile. "Hi, Naruto, I thought that you would forget that promise you made to me," Yugito said. "Didn't I tell you I never go back on my promises?" Naruto asked her with a smile. "Yes, but it was so long ago," Yugito replied in a softer voice, ashamed that she thought Naruto might have forgotten. "Anyways, I got to go back home, Naruto," Kato told him. "What? I thought you were coming with us, Kato-sensei?" Naruto asked in a disbelieving tone. "Sorry, but I can't. The village needs me. I came with Yugito just to protect her," Kato told him. Seeing the disappointed look on Naruto's face he said, "Don't worry, you guys will be fine. Jiraiya is going with you guys anyways. Alright, guess I'll start heading back, see you Naruto." "Wait, don't go yet, at least stay so I can show you around first," Naruto said to his sensei. "Sorry, I got to get back as soon as possible Naruto." "Raikage's order," Kato said to his former student. After he said that he waved at Naruto and say, "Okay, hope you save your teammate Naruto. Knowing you I expect to see him sometimes. Bye." With that he started walking north. He walked a few steps and stopped. "Oh Naruto, would you mind escorting Yugito back when this is over?" "No problem, Kato-sensei," Naruto answered him. The truth was that Kato could have gone with Naruto and Yugito, but decided that it would be a good time for them to spend time with each other without him around. He knew that Orochimaru was a very skilled ninja, but they also had Jiraiya on their side already and he was going also. "I guess I'll show you around Konoha and you can meet my friends. Come follow me," Naruto said to his former teammate Yugito in an excited voice. They were walking along the road when they saw Choji. Choji had changed a lot from the 3 years that Naruto has been away. A big difference was that Choji grew out his hair. His brown hair reached the back of his neck now. He also wore a white vest with his family symbol on the front. Most of his clothes resembled a samurai now instead of a ninja. This fitted him though, but Choji was a tank, not an agile ninja. The biggest difference was the way he wore his forehead protector. Instead of wearing his forehead protector like a diaper on his head like he used to, he wore it just like everyone else now. Hey Choji, do you know where everyone's at? Asked Naruto. Yeah, I was just about to go and meet them at the barbecue restaurant for dinner. Who's that with you? Choji questioned Naruto. That's why I wanted to meet everyone. I wanted everyone to meet my former teammate, Yugito, Naruto told Choji. Hi, a friend of Naruto is a friend of mine, Choji offered his right hand. Hello Choji, thanks for the warm welcome, Yugito said shaking his hand. Well, let's get going then, I want you to meet everyone, Naruto told them. Naruto, Choji, and Yugito went to barbecue restaurant to find that everyone was there already. I can't believe it Choji, you're the last one here. I think that's a first, Ino made a comment to Choji. Dad wouldn't let me out before I finished my chores, Choji responded to his teammate. Hey, didn't know you had a girlfriend Naruto. Shikamaru said in a lazy voice trying to make him feel uncomfortable. It didn't work. Whatever, Shikamaru, well this is my former teammate, Yugito. Yugito, these are my friends. I can't believe you're all here. I thought that some of you might be on missions or something, Naruto stated with a smile. There hasn't been much missions lately, Tenten told him. She wore an Anbu mask sideways revealing her face. The mask was completely white and had the shape of an eagle. There were a few black lines that went from the cheeks all the way back. She wore the typical Anbu outfit, completely blue pants and cut-off shirt with a white vest that covered the shirt. She also wore a white forearm protector on each side of her arms. On her back she carried a long black sword. Her left shoulder had the Anbu tattoo. I can take your word for it since you're in Anbu and all, Naruto said to Tenten. Naruto let them introduce each other and sat with his friends. Yugito took a seat next to him. So, how do you like Konoha? Ino asked Yugito. I haven't been around yet because I just barely got here. It's pretty late so I think I'll check it out tomorrow. So far I guess it's okay, Yugito replied. What do you think of Naruto? Kiba asked smirking. He received a hit from Sakura for that. Don't ask such rude questions, Kiba. To Sakura's surprise Yugito started to answer, well, Naruto's a good teammate. He's also someone that I can rely on. He's pretty strong I guess. Only pretty strong? Naruto questioned his former teammate. Yes, only pretty strong, Yugito answered him back. Everyone chuckled at this, even Neji and Shino. To everyone's surprise Hinata made a comment in her soft and low voice, if you categorized Naruto as only pretty strong, then you must be very strong, Yugito. No, not really, I'm okay I guess, Yugito gave her answer. Lee interrupted everyone, Yugito-san, I've seen that Naruto has improved tremendously in his taijutsu. I'm assuming it was because of training with you. If you don't mind I would like to test my skills against yours whenever you're free. Yugito smiled, sure, Lee-san, we can spar whenever. Just not today though alright, because I got to get settled in first. Lee's eyes were burning with fire, of course, thanks for your acceptance. I will wait whenever you're ready. After gossiping for almost 2 hours the restaurant was beginning to close and everyone decided that it was time to go. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow, Naruto said to the group. Naruto and Yugito were walking alone in the dark without saying a word to each other, each in their own thoughts. Bad news, Kato isn't here. Without him around I don't know if I can keep this feeling in check. Or is that good news? No stupid, I can't do something like that to Kato. I can't try to steal his girlfriend. He's my sensei and taught me most of my taijutsu. I can't stab him in the back like that, Naruto thought to himself. I wonder if we can work well as a team without Kato around. We've always been with Kato when we went on missions together. Now that he isn't here, will we be successful? Yugito thought. It took 5 minutes before they reached Naruto's house. He took out his keys and released the lock. Naruto opened the door and said, here's my home. It's not as big as yours, but make yourself at home. It was indeed not as big as her house. There was a small kitchen and a small living room as she walked in. There was hardly any furniture around, just the basic needs to survive like a refrigerator, a small table with 2 chairs, and a stove. She looked down the hallway and saw 2 doors. You can sleep in my room while I sleep out here in the living room, Yugito, Naruto told her. No, it's all right, Naruto, I can sleep in the living room, Yugito replied. No, you're a guest, you need to be comfortable, Naruto insisted. After an hour of arguing over who was to sleep in the bedroom, Naruto finally convinced her to sleep in the bedroom. Naruto was fast asleep on the living room floor while in Naruto's room Yugito was still up thinking. I hope that I don't have any nightmares. Please don't let me have any nightmares. Naruto was already up cooking when he heard a loud knock at door. Hold up, he quickly went to the door and opened it to see who it was. Hey Naruto, is Yugito here? Asked Sakura. She was with Ino. Come in, I'll get her for you, Naruto told them. They entered Naruto's living room. Naruto went to his bedroom and a second later Yugito came out with him. Naruto went back to the kitchen to cook. Oh hi Sakura. Hi Ino, Yugito said when she entered the living room. Hi Yugito, they both replied. Me and Sakura were just wondering if you're doing anything today. If you aren't doing anything, then we were just going to ask if you wanted to go shopping with us today. Ino asked Yugito. Yugito had a worried look on her face. Shopping? I hardly ever do that, she thought. Sakura saw her face. Come on, it'll be fun. You don't want to hang out with Naruto all day, do you? Hey, I am here, you know, Naruto said when he heard what Sakura said about him. I know, replied Sakura. She turned her attention back to Yugito. So, what do you say? I guess it couldn't hurt, Yugito replied in a small voice. This brought a huge smile to both of Ino and Sakura's face. They immediately grabbed her arm and rushed her to the door. Before they got out, they heard Naruto said in a little happy tone, "You'll regret it, Yugito." Shut up, Naruto, she will not regret it, replied both Ino and Sakura at the same time in a loud voice. They slammed the door when they got out. They went to their first clothing store, which was a lingerie store. Yugito never imagined herself wearing these types of clothes. Sakura and Ino kept bugging her to try on some on. Come on, Yugito, you have the body for it, we can see that already. Why don't you want to wear anything that shows it off? Ino said to Yugito. I don't know, it doesn't suit me, Yugito replied. Just try it on, Sakura told her. They kept pressuring her until she tried some on. She went to the dressing room and tried on a couple of them. To her surprise, it wasn't that bad. Not that she liked wearing it, but she thought it looked nice. Well, are you going to come out so we can see it, or are you going to hide in there all day and keep it to yourself? Ino asked her while she was in the dressing room trying on her third lingerie. What? Go out there so they can see it. Are they serious or are they just playing a trick on me? Yugito thought. Hurry up, Yugito, we want to see how it looks like, Sakura said to her. I guess they're serious, Yugito thought. She opened the door and saw Sakura and Ino there waiting there excitedly like it was Christmas Day. Wow, that looks amazing on you, Yugito. You should really get it, Ino said. It was a red robe lingerie with long sleeves. The material was a see-through material. The robe had only 2 buttons that could be buttoned near the chest, which caused the body of the robe to slant behind her back and reveal her stomach when it was buttoned. The panties were also red, but a little darker than the robe. You think so? Yugito asked. Yes, you should, Sakura answered in an honest tone. Sakura and Ino tried on many lingeries and compared it with each other. They also decided which ones were good and which ones were bad. Yugito really didn't like shopping as much, but tried a few more on anyways just to pass the time. They finished shopping. Sakura and Ino bought 2 outfits each while Yugito only bought the red one. She really wasn't going to buy it, but Ino and Sakura wouldn't let her leave until she did. When they got outside, Ino said with a smirk, "So Yugito, who are you going to wear that for? Are you going to wear it for Naruto?" "No," she quickly responded. "I don't think I'll wear it for anyone." Kind of quick to answer there, Yugito. Sakura said. "No, seriously," Yugito responded. Sakura and Ino just laughed and said, "Sure Yugito, sure, we believe you. You can tell us, we won't tell him. It's a girl thing. Hey, you haven't ate yet, right? We kind of pulled you out of Naruto's house before he finished cooking, so what do you say we go to a restaurant? I'll treat you since you're a guest." "Oh, don't worry, we won't be eating ramen," Ino said to Yugito. Yugito replied with a smile, "All right, I am kind of hungry." They went to a local and started to order. Yugito ordered some steak with a side plate of fried rice while Sakura and Ino ordered some salad. My god, how do they survive on just eating rabbit food? Don't they need energy to train? Yugito thought to herself. While they were waiting for the food, Ino questioned Yugito, "Who do you think is the best looking guy here in Konoha in our age group?" "They're all pretty nice," Yugito responded. "I didn't ask for nice, I asked who was the best looking guy." Ino asked her again, having a big smile this time. "I really don't know," Yugito replied. "Don't lie, you think Naruto's hot, right? Come on Yugito, just say it, it'll make you feel better." "I won't lie, Naruto has gotten better looking over the years. If I didn't know Naruto from before, I might even go for him now," Sakura told her. "Well, I think Shikamaru's the best looking guy in our age group," Ino said. "Yay, we already know that. Shikamaru's okay, but he's a real lazy. We weren't talking about personalities though, right? So I would have to say Neji. I love his hair," Sakura said to Ino. "I wonder how he keeps his hair like that. It's a lot nicer and finer than ours. I wonder if he'll let us touch it. Let's ask him what conditioner he uses," Ino said to Sakura. Ino was brushing through her hair when she mentioned Neji's hair. "He won't tell us. I know he'll say something like it's all natural or something like that, and I know it can't be because look at Hinata's hair. They're first cousins and his hair is like silk while hers is just like ours. But his attitude isn't completely good also. He's too businesslike and doesn't know how to loosen up," Sakura said to Ino. Sakura was brushing her hair with her hands when she said this. Talking about Hinata, "If you don't hurry Yugito, I think she might go for Naruto," Ino said to Yugito. When Ino said this, Yugito's heartbeat sped up a little. "I doubt it, she doesn't have the courage to," Sakura said. "She's a nice girl, but I can't see Naruto and Hinata together. She's just too shy while Naruto is too upbeat. Naruto needs someone that he can talk to, and I think Hinata wouldn't have good conversations with him. I can see him with you Yugito. You guys would make a fantastic couple," Sakura said to Yugito. "I can tell he's real happy when he's with you." "Why do you say that?" Yugito questioned her. "Even though Naruto is always smiling and laughing, I didn't see him truly smile yet until I saw you with him. When he introduced you to us, he had a genuine smile. With all the things he's going through, I can see why. With things like rescuing Sasuke and," Sakura felt a kick to her shin from Ino underneath the table before she could finish her sentence. "And what?" Yugito was interested in what was on her former teammate's mind. "Oh, nothing. Forget it," Sakura replied quickly. "Well, anyways, Naruto's a good-looking guy and doesn't have that much of a personality problem like other good-looking guys. If you don't hurry Yugito, he's going to off the market pretty soon." After they finished eating, they went to go shopping again. This time it was just for regular clothes and not lingerie. They shopped the whole day and it was already around 8 o'clock when Yugito returned to Naruto's house. She opened the door, put her shopping bag on the floor and took a seat in the kitchen chair. She saw that Naruto was in the kitchen cooking some food. "Hey Yugito, you're back. So how did it go?" Naruto asked Yugito, almost laughing when he asked her. "It was okay," Yugito answered. "Don't lie, you hated it, didn't you? They're my friends, so it won't hurt me if you said that it was unpleasant and boring. I warned you, but you still went. Ha ha ha, you deserve it," Naruto told her. Fine. I didn't like it. I didn't know that guys in clothes were all that your girlfriends talk about. They went on for hours about hair, perfume, clothes, nail polish, face wash, manicure, and makeup. I felt like I didn't really fit in with them, Yugito admitted. Ah, don't worry, they love it. When they find someone who doesn't like these kinds of things, they feel like they have an obligation to teach them. So you want to go on another trip with them to learn these things? Naruto asked her jokingly. No, I think I'll pass, Yugito replied. Just as she said this, Naruto put a plate of pork with stir vegetables in front of her. I never saw Naruto cook when he was at my house. She thought it would look rude if she didn't eat, so she decided to eat. She picked up the chopsticks and grabbed a piece of pork, then ate it. To her surprise, it was delicious. It was even better than at a high-price restaurant. She was surprised when Naruto came back to join her with a bowl of instant ramen. He sat straight across from her. She looked at him in a funny way. Here was a guy who was probably one of the best cooks, and he decides to eat instant ramen. What? Is something wrong? Naruto asked when he saw that she was looking at him in a funny way. Well, at first I didn't think you could cook, but I was proven wrong. Where did you learn how to cook? I was also wondering why someone who can cook as good as you would rather eat instant ramen. She asked him. I'll answer your second question first. It's a pretty easy answer. I really like ramen. I figured you were probably tired of it, so I decided to cook you something else. For the first question, I learned it from Ero Sennin. Being in the woods with him without any ramen can make you learn how to become a decent cook. He was a fantastic cook, claiming that it helps with the ladies. Pretty stupid if you ask me, Naruto answered her question. How come you never cooked when you were at our house? Yugito questioned him. I can't just be going through your refrigerator now, can I? Plus I like Kato and your cooking anyways, Naruto answered. Naruto finished his ramen before she was finished with her dish. He noticed the bag that was on the floor near the door. Yugito was still busy eating, so she didn't notice Naruto going to her bag. While Naruto was reaching his hand in the bag, and he said, So what did you buy? With a look of horror, Yugito quickly got up from her chair and snatched up the bag. Didn't anyone tell you it's not nice to go through someone else's stuff? Yugito said in a high voice. Come on, we're teammates, you can show me what you have. I shouldn't have opened my big mouth before, I didn't even see it yet. Can you show me now? Naruto asked. No, Yugito said with a statement. Please, Yugito, I just want to see what kind of clothes you like. Naruto asked in a gentle tone. I said no, Naruto, Yugito replied back. Pretty please. Naruto was now making his eyes water like a cute dog. The answer is no, and I'll never show you what I bought today, Yugito told him. Fine, be that way. I thought we were teammates. Teammates don't keep secrets from each other, Naruto told her. Don't try to pull a guilt trip on me, Naruto, it won't work, Yugito said to him. Naruto spent the next 2 hours guessing what was in Yugito's bag while she wasn't giving him any answers. Alright, I'm off to bed, Naruto, she told him. I shouldn't have alerted you when I had the chance, was all that Naruto could say. His arms were crossed, still thinking what was inside the mystery's bag. Tough luck. Good night, Naruto, Yugito said to him, and she proceeded to his bedroom. Well, good night then, Yugito, Naruto said to her, and as she was leaving. The next 2 weeks went by as Yugito spent her free time having sparring matches with Lee and Naruto. She mainly did this to avoid going shopping and talking about boys with Ino and Sakura again. Plus she liked sparring with Lee. Lee's taijutsu was completely different from hers or Naruto's. While her taijutsu was more of a finesse and fluid movement, Lee's taijutsu had more straight punches and hard hits. Naruto's taijutsu was different from hers and Lee's, he liked to grapple more than both of them. Overall, she had fun having these sparring matches. They took off to the Hokage Tower and entered the Tsunade's office. When he entered the room, he could already see that Sakura and Jiraiya was already there. When he took a look at Tsunade, Naruto saw that her eyes were red and her cheeks were slightly pink, almost like she was crying just a moment before. Maybe, she just had a drink right before the meeting, Naruto thought to himself. He proceeded to scan the room. To his surprise, Kakashi was missing. He and Yugito went to stand next to Sakura's left side. Jiraiya was on Sakura's right side. Is Kakashi-sensei going with us? Naruto questioned Tsunade. No, Jiraiya is taking his place. Kakashi will be doing some other mission, she responded in a calm voice. Naruto did not like this. It wasn't that he didn't like that Jiraiya was coming with them, but the fact that he thought Kakashi would also be the one coming with him and Sakura because he was after all the former sensei for Team 7. I know what you're thinking, Naruto, but it's the only way. Sorry, Kakashi can't come on this trip. The mission that he's on right now is very important, Jiraiya told him. Oba-chan, this is my teammate from the hidden village of Cloud. Sorry I didn't bring her to you before. My friends wanted to take her out and we didn't have the time, Naruto told Tsunade. Did I hear him right? Yugito thought. Did he just called her Ba-chan? If I'm not mistaken, the Hokage for the hidden village of Leaf was a Sennin just like Jiraiya. First Jiraiya-sama and now Tsunade-sama. He must have a skill for survival. A person does not live long when they insult a Sennin, never mind that Naruto has already insulted 2 of them. I don't think you should call her that, Naruto, nor should you call Jiraiya-sama, Arrow Sennin, Yugito said to him. Naruto just laughed at her. You know, you're pretty funny sometimes, Yugito, for such a serious shinobi. You call them what you want and I'll call them what I want. Dia. Naruto, I like your friend already. She has manners, Tsunade interrupted them. Okay. Here are the briefings for the mission. This is going to be a S-class mission because you're going against a Sennin, Tsunade told the group. Unlike cages, Orochimaru doesn't operate in his village. Only a few number of his most trusted followers know where he is at, mainly only Kabuto. Sasuke is also most likely there because Orochimaru is probably protecting his most precious vessel. Most of the time when he wants something done by the hidden village of Sound, he gives his order to his subordinate Kabuto to handle the job. Orochimaru's location is 3 miles west of the hidden village of Sound. Here, she pointed to the map indicating where the location was. Your mission is easy, kill Orochimaru and Kabuto. Try to bring Sasuke back, but if he's a threat to your life also, you may kill him. Yeah, real easy, just kill a Sennin and subordinate, and rescue his strong container. Got it, Naruto said, slightly wiping his hands in opposite ways like the job was already finished. Tsunade-sama, shouldn't we take some of our friends to help us rescue Sasuke? Sakura asked her sensei. Naruto answered her question instead of Tsunade. No, we shouldn't have more than 4 people. The more people that we have, the slower we move and the easier it is for enemy patrols to locate us. If they happen to locate us, backup would arrive and we would be fighting a whole hidden village. Our mission is not to fight the whole hidden village, but to rescue Sasuke. Yes, Naruto is correct, Sakura. Any more people and enemy patrols might locate you guys. This mission is going to consist only 4 people, Tsunade told her. Alright, you may leave when you're ready, Tsunade mentioned to the group. Yes, the group responded. With that they left the office. Jiraiya looked back and gave Tsunade a warm smile before he left. Okay, you guys go get your stuff and we'll meet in the front of the village, Jiraiya told the group when they left the office. They all went to get their gear and set off to the front of the village where Jiraiya was already patiently waiting. It will take approximately 2 days before we get to Orochimaru's hideout if we hurry, Jiraiya told the group as they arrived. Let's move out. We won't have a formation yet until we get to the border of Fire Country. Jiraiya and Naruto were in the front while Sakura and Yugito were in the back. They weren't far from each other, but they were far enough not to hear each other's conversation. Naruto and Jiraiya seemed to be in some sort of conversation. There was a weird silence between Yugito and Sakura, so Sakura decided to break the silence. As she looked at Yugito's outfit, which looked almost identical to Naruto's, she said, "So I guess you were the one who got Naruto out of that eyesore-looking outfit." Yugito replied, "Yes, but it took a long time for him to leave that orange jacket and orange pants. I kept bugging him about his outfit and told him to change it, but he never listened. He changed it after we went on an B-class mission." "What happened?" Sakura asked her. "Well, it was a stealthy mission, and long story short, the enemy noticed Naruto's jacket when we were hiding. It was only a very small part, but he noticed it. That almost costs us our lives." The next day Naruto asked Sensei for some different clothes, Yugito replied. She was going to tell Sakura that her clothes weren't at all stealthy also, but decided not to because Yugito didn't know her that well yet. "So what do you really think of Naruto since it's only me and you now without Ino around?" Sakura asked Yugito. "You must be kidding," Sakura commented. "Has Naruto changed that much?" "No, I'm not. I can't put my finger on it, but it seems like he tries to avoid me. I don't know why. The first day that we met he seemed opened, but after that day it seemed that he shut himself out. We would talk often and a lot, but not anything of importance, just chit-chat," Yugito told her. "I'm going to pound Naruto after this mission," Sakura thought. "Well, he's pretty strong like I said before. We're about even when we spar or train," Yugito continued. "Wow. This girl is strong if she's even with Naruto. Naruto is about Kakashi's level, so that means that this girl is also near that level," Sakura thought to herself. "So do you like him?" Sakura asked her. "Of course, he's my teammate. I have to like my teammate to be able to work with them," Yugito replied. "You know what I mean," Sakura said to her. "Not this again," Yugito thought. "I was trained not to have emotions towards other people," Yugito told Sakura. Sakura just looked at her strangely. Yugito wanted to change the subject, so she asked Sakura, "You're his ex-teammate also, so what do you think of him since Ino isn't here now also?" "When I first met him, I can't deny that I didn't like him. I was more interested in Sasuke since he was the best ninja and most handsome boy in the class. I didn't treat Naruto like a normal person. He used to bug me a lot and would always try to get me to go on a date with him," Sakura told her with a sad voice. At this Yugito frowned. Naruto always mentioned good things when he talked about his former teammate. "I wish that I could take that back, but it's a part of my past and I can't," Sakura replied in the same sad tone when she noticed Yugito's face. "There are a lot of good qualities about him though. He's a person who keeps their promises no matter what. I think that's the best personality trait in him. He's also very caring for the few friends that he have. I know he wouldn't hesitate to give his life to any of them," Sakura continued in a more cheerful tone than before. "Does Naruto consider me a friend or just a teammate?" Yugito thought when Sakura mentioned that he would die for his friends. "What about yours and his former teammate, Sasuke? Naruto doesn't like to talk about him much," Yugito asked Sakura. "I think Naruto doesn't talk about him much is because it was one of the mission that he has failed. Not only that, he feels like he failed to save his friend from a disaster," Sakura answered her. "But to answer your question, Sasuke is a very prideful person. I think this was because he was the number one rookie in our class. I think that's one of the reason why he went to Orochimaru," Sakura told her. "Why do you think that?" Yugito asking her to continue. "Well, at first Naruto was way below Sasuke in skill level and Sasuke didn't care about him much. But, as time passed Naruto became stronger and stronger while Sasuke felt like he wasn't improving as much as Naruto. I think he somehow felt inferior to Naruto and left to get more power from Orochimaru. I know it's real stupid for Naruto to blame himself, but he felt that it was partially his fault for Sasuke's betrayal," Sakura said. "So, Naruto felt like it was partially his fault that Sasuke went to Orochimaru. Why do you look at things in such a stupid way, Naruto?" Sasuke left because he wanted to, not because you made him, Yugito thought. Sakura continued, I can see why Naruto wasn't as strong as Sasuke in the beginning. I mean, Naruto didn't even have a family to teach him anything while Sasuke came from an elite ninja family which taught him before he was even in the academy. Naruto didn't have a family. He never told me that, Yugito said to Sakura. Stupid Sakura, you and your big mouth. Well, you can't take that back now, Sakura thought to herself. Yes, Naruto never knew his family. He was raised by an orphanage until he was old enough to join the academy. No wonder why his house is so small, Yugito thought. They continued to talk until it was near sunset. We should rest here, Jiraiya said when they got near the border of Fire Country. They set up 2 tents and cooked some fish that Naruto caught by the stream. It was around 10 o'clock at night when Jiraiya said, I'll take the first shift of lookout, Naruto will take the second shift, Yugito you take the third shift while Sakura will take the fourth. Each shift will be 2 hours and we'll leave at 6 o'clock sharp tomorrow. Okay, get your sleep now. At that Naruto went to one tent while the 2 girls went to the other. Jiraiya was sitting on a branch near the top of the tree when he felt someone coming. It was a familiar chakra so he wasn't worried. It was about an hour and 30 minutes into his shift already. What is it, Naruto? Naruto took a seat next to Jiraiya. Hey, Ero Sennin, what's the chance of us accomplishing this mission? Not wanting Naruto to know that he had a lot of information on Orochimaru and Sasuke, he said, I don't know, Naruto. It wasn't that he didn't want to tell Naruto, but he remembered Tsunade told him that she had lied to Naruto about Sasuke to keep him safe. It would seem kind of weird if he knew a lot about Orochimaru and Sasuke's strength. I know you know. I also already knew that Ba-chan knew Snake Man's location before I even went back to Konoha, Naruto told his sensei. What makes you think that? Jiraiya said, still pretending that he didn't know. Many reasons. 1. Ba-chan mostly likely got her information on Snake Man from you. Going by how easy you keep tabs on Akatsuki, it'll be pretty easy for you to also keep a tab on your old friend. 2. The reason why I didn't bug her more about it was because I knew Ba-chan was just worried about my safety. I figure the 2 months delay was just extra time for you to figure out the locations of Akatsuki in case they were close to me. 3. You guys must have more information because she knows that I would never forgive her if something happened to Sasuke and somehow I find out she already knew the location of Snake Man's hideout. So I think it would be better if we were straight with each other, Naruto said. When has Naruto learned how to analyze so good? Has he actually grown up, not wanting to get the answer out of Tsunade when he knew she was lying? Can't he just go back to the Naruto that didn't question such things? Jiraiya thought. First, I wonder if it was Kato who taught you these analyzation skills. Yes. He would let me lead sometimes during missions. Unless my command was totally dangerous or something that would put our team's life in danger, we would follow my commands without question. After the mission was over, Kato-sensei would suggest things and strategies that would have been better, Naruto said. Did you know I almost pounded his face the first time we did this? When we got back to his house, I thought that I did real well because he didn't correct anything while we were on the mission. But, when we reached the house he told me all the errors that I made. I got real mad at him, not because he told me my errors, but because he saw them while we were doing the mission and didn't correct it right there. This was what I actually said to him, you put our team in danger just so I can improve my analyzation skills. To my surprise he just laughed and said that I was going to be a great leader. He told me that I cared for safety of the group and that's what a good leader should do. He mentioned that I should not worry because unless it puts the team in real jeopardy then it's okay. It's all part of learning. Another thing that he'll let me do is analyze mission reports. Some of the missions were pretty vague. He would let me analyze the mission request to see what I thought of it. Many clients know that if they reported what would really happen the mission would be a higher class so they just put in vague descriptions. They want it to be marked at a lower rank so they won't have to pay that much, kind of my first C-class mission, Naruto told Jiraiya. I told him to teach you taijutsu, not analyzation skills also, Jiraiya commented while having a smile. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. Yes, Tsunade already knew the location of Orochimaru's hideout before you went back to Konoha. Your other assumption is also correct. The 2-month delay was to give me time to figure out the location of Akatsuki before Tsunade let you go and rescue Sasuke. As for the third one, Orochimaru won't be taking Sasuke's body for another 3 months or so, Jiraiya told him. Why's that? I thought he could take him already, Naruto said. Technically he could, but he wants Sasuke to be a more permanent vessel, and for that to happen the curse seal has to take full effect. I think Sasuke has a couple of months before he's completely under the control of the seal, Jiraiya answered his student. Back to my first question then. What are our chances of accomplishing this mission? Naruto questioned him. Orochimaru and me are about the same level. Sasuke is about your level and Kabuto is about Kakashi's level, which is around your level. Yugito is also about your level, so I say it can go either way, though it favors them a little bit more, Jiraiya said to him. It's because you know I won't try to kill Sasuke, am I correct? Naruto asked. Yes, because you won't use your full force to fight Sasuke. This could be bad. We don't know if Sasuke will hold back when fighting you. He might, but I highly doubt it. He's been under the curse seal for so long, Jiraiya told him. Is it also because of Sakura? Naruto said, more of a comment than a question. Yes, that also. Having Sakura on the team can go 2 ways. 1, she'll be a big help to us because we have another person and a healer or 2 they can use her as bait or hostage, Jiraiya answered. Tsunade also told me that she's a Junin, but isn't as strong as any of the elite Junins yet, so I don't know if she has the strength to compete with them. With that, Jiraiya leapt down to a lower branch. Alright, nice talking to you, Naruto, but I got to get some sleep and it's your shift now, Jiraiya told him. Jiraiya proceeded down the tree and went to the tent. It was 5:30 and everyone was already up getting ready. Everyone was gathered around in a small group waiting for the instructions from Jiraiya. Okay, here's the formation. I will lead since it'll be easier for me to give out orders when I'm in the front. Sakura, you will be behind me since you're the medic of the team. We need to protect you the most. Naruto, you will be behind Sakura because need to get to Sakura as fast as possible if they decide to attack her. You are stronger than Yugito and can take a hit for Sakura if needed, so you need closer to her. Yugito can cover the back since she's a little faster than you, Naruto. Okay, got the formation. The team nodded. When we get there I will face Orochimaru while Naruto will face Sasuke and Yugito will face Kabuto. Don't worry about not looking at his eyes. To my knowledge Orochimaru hasn't taught Sasuke how to cast genjutsu through his eyes. Mainly because he doesn't know how, and I don't think Sasuke had time trying to figure it out yet. Yugito, even though Kabuto is a medical nin, don't let that fool you. He has many tricks up his sleeve. He uses chakra blades to cut your muscles. Sakura, you try to avoid the fight as much as possible until you see one of us injured. If you're injured, then we have no way of healing ourselves. If worst comes to worst, then you will have to join the fight also. If Tsunade was a good teacher, she would have taught you a lot of dodging skills and at least some taijutsu skills, Jiraiya said this to the team. They all nodded again, stating that they knew what he was saying. We will probably reach the base near sunset. Move out, Jiraiya said. They started heading west, hoping that they wouldn't meet any enemy shinobis. Luckily for them, they didn't. It was sunset and they reached Orochimaru's hideout. The hideout didn't really look like a hideout in Naruto's opinion. It had a small opening in the ground about the size of a man. Hey, Ero Sennin, are you sure this is the place? Naruto asked him. Well, it is a hideout, right? He's not going to have some board stating, Orochimaru's hideout, welcome all. Yes, I'm sure this is the place. I'll go first, Jiraiya said to his student. Jiraiya crawled into the small hole and Naruto followed. It was really small, it could only fit person at a time. After he got through the hole, he found that he could completely stand up. It was almost like a cave. It was completely dark, but Naruto could feel that the roof was about 8 feet high and the sides were just about 4 feet wide since he could touch the sides if he outstretched his hand. It was a real tight fit. The pathway wasn't straight either, it had a 45-degree turn about every 5 feet. Naruto guessed this was to make escaping easier. After walking for about 5 minutes there were many directions to choose from. There were 6 directions. Which way now, Arrow Sennin? Naruto asked in a very small voice so that no one else can hear. Jiraiya pointed at the door to their left. They all proceed to follow him. They took this path for about 10 minutes and came into a very big room. This room was dark also, but had snake-like candle holders with a very small flame in them to illuminate the whole room. The room was about 50 feet across and 20 feet from top to bottom. There heard 3 footsteps coming from the other side of the room. 3 men appeared before them. In the middle stood Orochimaru and to the right of him stood Kabuto. They haven't changed much in 3 years. They still wore the same clothes as before. Sasuke stood on Orochimaru's left side, zombie-like. He grew a little taller and wore a white long-sleeve shirt which was open in the middle. He wore dark purple pant that was held up by a light purple rope which he tied to his side. Kukuku, if it isn't my old teammate, and look, he brought Naruto-kun and 2 girls, Orochimaru said to Jiraiya with an evil grin on his face. Naruto-kun, I really have to thank you and Kakashi. Without yours and Kakashi's help Sasuke would never have come to me this early. When he saw you improving and passing him he couldn't stand it how a dead last like you could surpass him. I have to thank Kakashi for putting that seal on him. He didn't realize that the level 2 curse seal actually takes over his brain until I took Kakashi's seal off. After your fight with him he never tried to use the curse seal again, but the damage was already done. Once a person uses the level 2 curse seal even once it'll start taking over their body, Orochimaru said. Shut up, Snake Man. Sasuke, come on, I don't want to fight you, Naruto said to Sasuke. He won't respond to you, Naruto-kun. The curse seal has already affected his body too much. He only listens to me now. The only thing I can't make him do is use the curse seal, but it doesn't matter, I can wait, Orochimaru said to Naruto. You know, Naruto-kun, if you let me take Sasuke I can help you take care of your other problem also. I also don't want them having power, you know, Orochimaru said to Naruto. Yugito was wondering what Orochimaru was talking about. Like, I'll believe that. Wouldn't it be easier just to come for me after taking Sasuke's body? Naruto replied back. Orochimaru laughed. Well, looks like you also improved your intelligence. Where did you learn this? It couldn't have been from Jiraiya. As Orochimaru finished his sentence he began to stick out his long tongue and wrapped it around Sasuke's body, not suffocating it, but caressing Sasuke's body. The tongue kept going around Sasuke until the end of the tongue was near Sasuke's belly button. Orochimaru then proceeded to move his tongue lower and lower until it was almost in Sasuke's pants, threatening to go down there. Naruto could see that Sasuke was twitching and didn't like the experience, but somehow Sasuke couldn't manage to move out of the way. Naruto couldn't take much more and he rushed at Orochimaru. Naruto, not yet, screamed Jiraiya, but it was already too late. Naruto had already left. Sasuke, Kabuto, now, Orochimaru said.